I am extremely excited to have one of my favorite coaches that actually did a little bit of energy work with me. And I wanted to introduce her to you all that's listening here today. Her name is Deepa Kakkar. And the reason why I have her here today is one of the reasons is because one, she did this amazing core value on me. And I didn't realize how amazing it was until I actually had this conversation with her about how much deep work individually that we need to do to really know what it is that we're trying to accomplish in our life, anything to do with our business aspect, any clients that we have. Deepa, you changed so much of my values. Like I actually went back after we did our little conversation and I went back to see my 5 values again. And I sat down with them and I'm like, we always ask ourselves the question about being in the moment or what is my purpose in this moment? And I was looking at my core values and I'm like, wow, I'm actually in my purpose and I'm actually doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And so until then, I was always questioning myself. Am I in my purpose? Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing what I love to do? So this is why I brought Deepa here, because I was like so excited to have her here and to introduce all of her to you, because she's absolutely a charm. She's beautiful and she loves what she does. And I'm excited to bring her here. So let me quickly introduce you to Deepa, and then we'll have Deepa tell us a little bit about herself. Deepa Kakkar is a certified mindset and core energy coach. She specializes in imposter syndrome, self-sabotaging, communication skills, conflict resolution skills, core values, perfectionism, procrastination, people-pleasing, and goal setting. Her experience, she has 5,000 plus hours of coaching. She has clients across the US, Europe, Asia, Australia, New Zealand, and even the Middle East, to name a few. And her past roles, she's worked in Africa, Middle East, and Asia. She has led large teams in corporate world, mentored young youths in Middle East, and raised funds in Africa to support the community. So welcome, Deepa. Thank you so much for being here. And please let us know a little bit more about you while you're here.
Oh, thank you so much, Nish, for your kind words. Really, really appreciate that. And thank you for giving me an opportunity to connect with you and your tribe here. I'm completely honored, Nish. Thank you so much. So yeah, I'm here. Let's go ahead and have a conversation, and let's be in the flow, Nish. Let me know if anything specific you have in mind.
So I'm so excited, Deepa, because I've been wanting to ask you a few questions about being a mindset coach that you are. I have always wanted to work with someone in this field and to actually be able to figure out how you actually help your clients in a capacity of life and mindset coach. So how do you help your clients with that?
Yeah, and I think I've been asked this question a lot of times, Nish, right? And you were kind enough to mention in the beginning that how do I really help my clients? Like, what's my niche, Nish, with respect to different mindset blocks like imposter syndrome, self-sabotaging patterns, etc. And I think the real magic happens in the session because, as a coach, I hold that space for my clients where I don't have any preconceived notions in my head or judgment about things. And I think when you make the other person feel seen and heard by holding that space and connecting with them at a very, very deep level, that really helps them to think loud. And like I always tell my clients that, all the answers lie within yourself.
Yes.
And the more we increase our level of awareness, more it helps us to make conscious choices. So I think the transformation happens when we let go of that fear of failure, our limiting beliefs, our self doubt, and when we raise our level of consciousness. So, yeah, this is exactly, I think, I help my clients, Nish.
You are so beautiful. I love how when you have this conversation with someone, especially with me right now, how deep and beautiful it comes out in you, because your conversation, when it comes to anything to do with mindset or coaching someone or anyone that you're doing that, you truly work with them from your heart. When we were having our conversations, you would ask me questions that I had to really dig deep within myself to ask, to really get the answers. And sometimes I was shocked to know that I even had these answers inside of me. And sometimes I had to sit down and really think, what would the answer be for this? Do I even know the answers to this? So this is why when I sit there with you and I talk to you in our conversations or the coaching that you did with me, I was really intrigued in actually understanding your energy. So you were doing some energy assessment on me too as well. And you were saying to me that, okay, this is the energy that you're in number 7 or number 4. And I believe it's the energy leadership assessment that you were doing. So can you tell me what is energy leadership assessment all about? So this way, everyone listening here can kind of see what it is that you do with that, because I loved it.
Absolutely, Nish. And there are two things to it to answer your question, Nish. One is that you mentioned about values. Like I always tell my clients, once you understand your who, then your what and how becomes very easy in life, right? So that is the main thing. And a lot of us, we are stuck in life with our who, because a lot of times we keep living our life from a fear-based values, something, which we inherit from our family, surroundings, community when we are growing up. But of course, as an adult, it's not really serving us. So just to name one, perfectionism is a fear-based value for a lot of us, right? At times we think in our head, and I'm a recovering perfectionist myself as well, Nish, right? So I used to think that till the time it's not perfect, it's not good enough. And I think to answer your second question with respect to the energy leadership assessment, Nish, this is one of the reasons why I chose IPEC, which is an institute based in US and New Jersey. And they focus a lot on this core energy coaching process. So it's an attitudinal assessment, like you mentioned. It's not about your strengths. It's not about your weaknesses, your personality characters. No, it's more about that, how do you show up in the world? How do you perceive things? How do you show up when things are going well for you? What triggers your stress level? How do you show up when you're triggered by stress? And the beauty of this assessment is that it empowers you to shift your energy, to come from a place of self-doubt to self-compassion to peace, and how to be in the flow. So I have done this assessment, I don't know, with over thousands of people, including my own self. And I think it has been absolutely transformational, Nish. Yeah.
What kind of questions would you ask your clients when it comes to these core values?
With respect to core values, like I generally ask them that, how much do you feel satisfied and fulfilled in your life? And basically, the purpose of values in our life is, Nish, that, they're the main drivers in our life. It fuels our behavior, our emotions. And if our life is not in alignment with who we are, that's the time we feel unsatisfied and unfulfilled. Now, I do coach a lot of coaches as well. And I think when we did that value session with yourself, it came up as well that how much, having that deep conversations and connecting with people and enjoying the process, it means a lot to you for you in your life, Nish. It's really, really important for you. So now, whatever marketing strategy you follow, but if it's not in alignment with who you are, you will always procrastinate. You will always self-sabotage yourself. So that is the whole purpose of values, I would say.
I have worked with coaches. I have worked with women around. There's so many people that say, you got to do this in your coaching. You got to do this in your marketing. You got to do this in your business. You got to do this in your life to be happy. But you were the first one that said something to me that triggered my whole life after we got off that phone. And that is exactly what you just said right now. If it's not your core value, if it's not something you believe, no matter how much you do it, it's not gonna work. And I think that's when I had tears in my eyes to be like, I've been doing this the entire time the wrong way. I've been doing things in my life the wrong way. Been doing it as if someone's telling me, Nish, you got to do it this way to be happy. Nish, you got to do your business this way to be happy. Nish, you got to lose weight this way to be happy. Every single person in their life has a value and this love within themselves and a belief system that says, I can do it a different way. I can walk a different path that aligns to me and make it work. And
Absolutely.
I remember telling the universe once, and I'm like, how can I make this easy where I don't have to do so much work and it just comes to me? Because I don't want to continue to do something that doesn't align to me so much. So explain to me how to do that. And you came into my life and you said it to me.
Oh,
This
beautiful.
is why I was so happy to have you here today on this podcast, because sometimes we forget that deep within ourselves, we have the answers to everything we're looking for. And then when you say them to us, we align to it. So this is where my next question comes up with: how do you figure out where our energy lies in our core values? How do you know where our energy is, and how do I know how to look through my energy when I'm doing my work or anything in life that I'm doing? So when I'm spending time with my family, where's my energy level? Or when I'm doing something for my business or doing something for myself, how do I know where my energy lies?
And this is, I love it the way you have framed this question, Dish. This is so interesting. So I'll try my best to do justice to your question here. Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say, see, for someone where freedom of choice, let's say, it's very important, right? Like it's really, really important for you to have that freedom of choice in your life. This is who you are. And all your life, you have heard that phrase that, you have to be working really hard to be successful in life. You have to be really productive. And if you're not working very hard, then, you don't deserve that success. Now, whenever you hear these words, I need to do this, I should be doing it, I have to do it, even when I'm saying it loud right now, it's creating that pressure on my shoulders,
Yes.
right? So it's a journey from I need to I want
Want
to,
to.
right?
Oh,
And when you say that I need to do this, I should be doing it, you are coming from level one, level two energy niche, which is like the lowest level of energy, where you're doubting yourself, your ego gets triggered, you have a lot of inner conflict, frustration, then inner battle going on, that I have to get it right, I have to work for so many hours to be successful. But if you replace that self doubt, self judgment by giving grace to yourself, showing compassion to yourself, showing up authentically, honoring freedom of choice as your core value, you will attract your soulmate clients. You will be in the flow. You will think out of the box. It will be effortless for you. So basically, it's letting go of your fear based value, digging deeper into your level one, level two energy, and up leveling it to, where you feel that peace, that confidence, and in the flow niche.
Deepa, you're amazing. You're amazing. That's amazing. It's amazing when you say that. If you continue to say I need to, or I have to, it becomes this automatic thing that we continue to say to ourselves, right? Oh, I need to make dinner today. I have to do it. If I don't, there's no dinner on the table. It doesn't work that way. It's like, I want to make sure that I am fed and my kids are fed the right, healthiest way. So I'm going to make the best meal today. I love that. See how you just change that perspective into I have to, into I will, and I'm going to make it the best. Like I already showed you a full on energy transformation right here. And I think it's the way that we say it to ourselves that makes a big difference. I need to ask you, what are your ideal clients? Who are your ideal clients to work with?
So I would say my ideal clients are the ones, Nish, who are intentional to be a better version of their own self,
Mm.
who wants to, uncover their inner blind spots that, which is holding them back to be a better version of their own self. So people, like you were saying in earlier part of our conversation, Nish, people struggling with imposter syndrome, perfectionism, procrastination, people pleasing, not setting healthy boundaries. They are
Mm.
my ideal clients, and 95% of my clients are women. 5% I also serve men and teens. And like I always tell my clients, I don't know how much you take away from our conversations and sessions, but I firmly believe in this principle that, every person you meet in life is your student and teacher. So whatever, they are taking away from our sessions, I think in return, it helps me to navigate my challenges in life and to be a better version of my own self. So yeah, this is a set of my ideal clients, Nesh.
You truly, it's truly true. When we do have our own clients, we learn from our own clients too as well. We learn from each other. There are things that doesn't work for your clients that maybe work for somebody else. And it's like, oh, okay, well, let's try something different. And by putting two heads together, we learn from each other. And I love that you said that, because I'm also a student and they're also a student. I may be their teacher to help them with something particular, but there's always going to be something else that they teach me too as well. And I also believe, like you, I met you for a reason. When you
Hmm.
messaged me, you were intrigued to message me for a reason. And then I had to find some kind of energy that continued to want to try to work with you. And so when I started to work with you a little bit and I started to say, okay, I want to do this, you just wowed me. There were days sitting there thinking, I love that core value you did for me. Because of that work that you did with me, I was able to take my phone or any other distractions that I had during the time. And I knew, as you know, when you're that first glitch, what do I need to do right now? And it continued to remember my values, and I continue to work towards them every single day. And every day when I did those values with you, when I put that together, I now consider those values every time I make those changes in my life a win. This is a win today for me. Yeah, I did something different today and I made it happen. That's another win for me. So I've learned to love that, and I've learned to find ways to do that. And I know that whoever you work with when it comes to this stuff is going to be blown away like crazy. So do you have any free tools or resources that you can share with people that are listening here to work upon any negative mindset, anything that you could do that could help others?
Oh, first of all, Nish, you're too kind to compliment me. You totally made my evening. So I'm going to
Oh,
go to sleep after this conversation really happy today. And I think that is the reason why I'm so passionate about what I do. When you see that transformation, I think there's so much of gratitude for this.
100%.
And amazing. There are a lot of tools and resources, Nish, actually. So I'm going to divide it into two parts, and you let me know if you want me to elaborate on anything specific.
Mm-hmm.
See, basically, we hold ourselves back in life, including my own self, because of inner blocks and outer blocks. Now, outer blocks is something, related to environment, related to change around yourself. And mostly, I would say it has been proved in a lot of research and studies now, 90% we hold ourselves back because of the inner blocks. Now,
Mm.
inner blocks are divided into four parts. One is that, how we make stories in our head, how we assume things in our head. Second is that how do we perceive things in our life? What is the interpretation for us in a particular situation, relationship, in a goal, whatsoever you call it? Third is definitely limiting beliefs. And the last one is our gremlins. our wounded inner child, our inner voice. So if you work upon these four inner blocks, and we are all work in progress here, Nish, including my own self, more you work upon on your inner blocks, more it helps you to make conscious choices.
Yeah.
So, if you want me to elaborate on any specific inner block here, I'll be more than happy to do that for you, Nish.
No, please do elaborate a little bit more. I think anyone can have a little bit more information on that, because I think sometimes even I would be like, okay, so you say inner block or outer block, what do you really mean by that?
So, would you like me to talk about gremlins or interpretations or assumptions or limiting beliefs? What
Let's
is
go with
that?
limited beliefs. Let's do that.
Okay. Okay, so the limiting beliefs is very interesting, right? Because a lot of times, let's say if I have to work upon something, I might feel that, there's fear of failure. What if I don't succeed? Let's say if I have to quit my 9 to 5 job, which is like a very common limiting belief. A lot of my clients struggle with, I would say, Nish. What if I'm not able to bring the same amount of money? What if, I'm going to fail? What if I'm not going to meet my own expectations? So they always come up with these limiting beliefs, and under that limiting beliefs, there is fear of failure. There is fear of being judged by others. There is a lot of self-judgment where you raise the bar very high for your own self. So you keep thinking, what if, I'm not able to succeed? So in that moment, I always ask them two things. I say, when you're assuming in your head that what worst can happen, think what best can happen. And that shifts the entire inner, right? What worst can happen? Okay, this is how you're holding yourself back. But then what best can happen in that situation if you trust yourself? And again, Sinish, how you transfer from a place of self-doubt to trusting yourself. But there is just one thing which will help you to come from self-doubt to trusting yourself. Any guesses what that can be, Nish?
I think for me, it would be changing the way that you think, just like how you just said right now.
Absolutely. By showing that compassion to yourself, and that will help you to trust yourself. And the easiest way to challenge your limiting belief is ask yourself, what evidence do I have to support this belief? If I'm saying that I'm going to fail, is it a story in my head which is creating that fear? Or do I have real evidence? Because if it's just a story in my head, then it is false evidence which appears to be real. And I call that fear, I name that fear as, pick up any name, like let's call him Sam right now. So ask yourself in that moment, do I have an evidence that I'm going to fail? Or Sam is telling me in the moment that if you're going to leave your 9 to 5 job and you're going to start your business, and then you will fail. And that becomes very easy. Now, a lot of clients, will do Sam journaling. They will journal their thoughts, their feelings, because that's a fact, Nish. How you think in your head, our thoughts convert into our feelings, and on the basis of our feelings, we take action. Because if I'm feeling that I'm going to fail, of course I will procrastinate. Of course I will self-sabotage myself.
I had that feeling today, like I was going to fail about something. Gosh. And I took that failure feeling without even talking to you yet. I took that fear and I said, how would you even know if you didn't even try?
Absolutely.
And I said that to myself. I said, okay, you're feeling this because every time you've done something like this, the negative has always come back. But you're going to have to continue to try it anyways, because this is a different scenario. But how would you know if you don't try? And so I continue to say that to myself out loud. I'm like, I'm just going to try it. I'm just going to do it. And when the time came to do it, I was crying.
Ah,
I was like, had tears in my eyes because I wanted to try, I really wanted it to work. But then I knew that if it didn't, I had plan B. It's okay. It's going to work at somehow, some way, but don't worry. Do it this way first because this is a way that you feel like you want to do it. Let's make it happen. And when I did it, even though I was crying doing it, it worked. It
oh,
came out the way I anticipated for it to come out. It worked. It didn't play out any other way that I thought it would play out. Nothing happened that came in my mind of that fear that it was going to happen. In fact, the same energy I put into what I was trying to do, the same energy was given back to me because I said, I'm not going to think that I'm going to fail. I'm going to try and continue to make it the way that I want it to work. And it came back with me with the same energy. And when I got off that phone with that situation that I'm all in, I just started to cry saying, I did it.
oh,
So
beautiful.
it is really hard because that fear that we have, it really does make a big difference. It really hinders our belief. It really untrusts. It makes us feel very uncomfortable. It makes us feel like we really want to just go back to our old things that we want to do. And I believe fear is also something that doesn't allow you to move forward in your life. It continues to keep you in a place where you're comfortable. But in order to grow, you have to take that step. You have to move forward. And it was very hard for me to do many years ago. But I look at that fear now and say, I don't care what the outcome is going to be. If I don't try, I will never know. And it's okay to fail. It's
Mm.
okay to fail. And I think we forget that because failure will continue to grow because now you know a different way that you can try this and make it happen. And I think it's hard because if you continue to fail and fail and fail, it's harder. It gets harder and harder for us to continue to believe in ourselves. But I think what you're trying to say and what you said right now is to keep going because it's that base that we need to continue to keep going to move forward. So I'm really thankful for you for that. It is so hard to do for so many people out there, and especially me. You know, I just said to you right now, I had the fear. And by asking yourself questions like, do you know 100% it's going to happen to you?
Mm.
If you know 100% it's going to happen to you, don't try it. But if you don't know the outcome, then what's wrong with just trying?
Absolutely,
So,
Nish. And you should be so proud of yourself, for challenging your own limiting beliefs and shifting your energy and challenging your thought process.
yeah.
And like I always say that, you cannot make a mistake because every single time you fail, you're still learning something from that experience. So when you
Mhm.
start the next time, you're not starting from the scratch.
Yeah.
It all depends, where your focus goes, your energy goes. And like you did it in such a brilliant way, Nish, asking yourself the right questions. And you should be extremely proud of yourself, Nish, the way you have done that immense inner work, I would say, and shifting your energy and coming from a place of consciousness. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
thank you so much. I hope this works for every client that meets you and every single person that comes across you and everyone that is listening to this. If this is something that you just want to talk to Deepa about, and just kind of have a conversation with her, I promise you, you will not regret it. Because when I had this conversation with Deepa, I was amazed and I was really happy because then I was able to see that I'm doing the right things in my life. These are the core values that make me so happy. And when we went through the core values and you made me dig deeper into these core values, I realized that I'm doing everything. It's just I'm learning to do something a bit different. Okay, so I'm not 100% here. How can I be 100% here? I'm not 100% here. How can I do a better job? And this continues to lead me to become a better and better person, a better mom, a better entrepreneur, and a better leadership in my community. So thank you so much, Deepa. So if anybody wants to get a hold of you, anyone wants to talk to you, where would they get a hold of you, and how can they call you or message you or get more information?
So they can reach out to me on my business page, Nish,
Mhm.
and my business page is at coaching D, or they can send me an email, deepa.kakar7@gmail.com, or they can connect with me on Instagram, kakar.deepa. So, and thank you again, Nish, for your kind words, your recommendation. And like when we were talking the other day, I said that you deserve to celebrate your small wins, Nish. And you're also helping your girls doing that walk the talk, right? Focusing your energy on the small wins rather than accomplishing the big goal. So more power to you, Nish.
It was your conversation with me that reminded me to celebrate yourself every single day. You asked me that question, didn't you?
Yeah.
It says, well, do you celebrate your wins every day? And I'm like, what wins? What are you talking about? And then when I really got to focus on every single day, I realized my wins. And I'm like, every day there is a win. Every day something amazing is happening. And it's that beautiful energy that brings to you. Like every night I will go to sleep saying, okay, so what was my win today? And I will write it down. I talked to this person, it was a win. I did this, it was a win. I didn't maybe get the chance to finish up what I wanted to do with my business and stuff, but oh my God, everything else I did today was a win, win, win. I'm good to go. I'm gonna go for the next day. And that has helped me with my energy every single day. Because, like I said, we go up and down. We have these little dips of energy every single day. And those dips can really hurt because then those dips can get to a point where you're just like, I'm not in the right place. I don't feel good. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I'm not happy. I'm not in the right space. Leave me alone. But when you focus on that happy every single day, and again, like you said, find that celebration every day. And when I started to do that for myself, I did it with my kids. And now my kids will think, like, okay, so what was your win today? And they have their journal every night. So my little one, it doesn't write yet. So she does a picture of her win. So her pictures every day of what she loved, what she did. And she will say, Mommy, this is my win. And I'm like, that's amazing. Right. And then my older girl will do the same thing now. She'll write it out and she'll tell me my win was I got to present something in class today.
Aw.
That's your win. Amazing. And I think this is where you come in. It's your core, it's your values that you teach. That when a woman or a man that comes and learns these values, we then bring these values out to the people that we love. And what we do will bring out the generation that we have to continue to do the same thing. And it's people like you and coaches like you that we need so we could get there. And like I said, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for you. So thank you.
Beautiful, Nish. Thank you so much. And on the last note, I would say that, like you're right, Nish, energy attracts energy.
Mm.
And this attitudinal assessment not just helps you to dig deeper into your energetic profile, that what triggers your stress level, how much time do you spend in that catabolic and destructive energy when you're doubting yourself, you're feeling stressed out, you're anxious, you're angry, you're frustrated. But it also helps you that how you can shift that energy, how with the tools, with the resources, and it goes very, very deep into the whole concept of core energy coaching process. So I would say to your tribe, whosoever is listening to this, Nish, if they are interested, like the way my business model works, that I always offer a free complimentary coaching session, and the person has no obligation to sign up. And if they have anything in their mind, feel free to connect with me and we'll take it on from there. But even in that free session, you will walk away with a lot of insights and clarity on the next steps and how you can be a better version of your own self.
Absolutely. So when I met Deepa, I did the free coaching session with her too. And it was from that free coaching session that I ended up saying, I want more. And then when we got more of it, that's when I learned to find that deeper sense with her. And I swear, anyone that's listening to this, if you want to check this out, there's no obligation here at all. All you got to do is just message Deepa and say, I want that free complimentary one. Let's do it. See how you feel, because it's that feeling that will lead you to the next step. And if that next step helps you, then it'll lead you to the next step. And honestly, Deepa is amazing. So if I can tell you right now that she was able to help me with some of the stuff that I've been dealing with, she'll do wonders for you. So thank you.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah. I'm excited to have this podcast up and everyone listening to it. And anyone that's here that's listening, please do message Deepa, get in touch with her. I'm excited to bring her on this podcast. Like I said, Fit Inspired Mama is all about women that inspire, that want to show other women things that are incredibly beautiful when it comes to energy, spirituality, loving themselves, self-care, self-love, all of it. It's all here. So keep listening every week, and we're going to have more and more guests. And thank you, Deepa, again for being here and taking your time to listen in.
Thank you so much. It was a total pleasure. Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful day, guys. See you next week.